Merry meet and hello to all of our pagan brothers and sisters. This is Jacques and Holly bringing you another video from Rosethorn Manor. Today we're going to do a quick walkthrough. It is Memorial Day 2021. To update you from the last video, we had started a keyhole compost garden, which the chickens have had their way with and pretty much decimated, but that's what we wanted. Something to tractor its way through there and break things down. We also got a box from our local IGA and filled it with soil, and we're going to plant potatoes in that. And hoping our kiwi will do something productive this year. We have a male and a female that is finally starting to take off now that the deer have been off of it for a while. Probably remember the rose arbor that we created a few years ago. It is just fantastical and wild and about ready to pop with blossoms. Last fall we planted another little mini mauvette hydrangea, which we're looking forward to blooming, and we also planted a black and red currant, which made it through our winter. We're very excited to see. Still have a few lilacs blooming, and as you can see, our irises and peonies are about ready to pop. My sister got me this really cool little wind whirligig thing for Christmas, which I absolutely love the color, and it spins with just the slightest breeze. These are some cement balls I made out of some of my son's old sports balls. There's like a soccer ball and a couple flat basketballs, so I filled them with cement and peeled it off. Here is the walkthrough into the back part of our garden. We planted this, it's supposed to be a kind of silvery greens, purples, and white garden. I haven't quite decided what I want to put on top of those holders. They're actually bird bath holders, but I got them at a good price down in Portland and want to put some pineapples or maybe some sphere shapes. I'm not quite sure yet what we're going to do. And this is the other side of the walled garden that we put in. We have delphiniums and hydrangeas. And this is a sort of sedum water garden that we installed last year, and it's grown back beautifully. I was a little worried with all the snow and ice from this last winter, and we started developing more of a perennial bed under here. We got these glass globes at a trip that my husband's son and I took down to the beach, our one COVID trip last year, where we actually got out of the garden and took the time. And we literally just got this perennial bed planted. It had the azaleas and hydrangeas and wigelia and boxwood in it, of course, and that stump back there is actually a thunderstruck stump that came out of a maple tree that destroyed our fence and left us a lot of charred wood. And we just saw this morning, thanks to the cats, that there's a raccoon living in that stump up in the maple. I wasn't quick enough with my camera to be able to get out. So now we are walking into our little potting shed garden. We spent quite a few hours working on this walkway and wanted like a mountain starburst pattern. And so this cottage garden, this is its second year. We wanted a garden space where we would be able to cultivate different plants as well as grow things for Euphoric Naturals. So many of these plants are in their second or third year. Some of them I started from seed a few years ago, and we still have a lot of ground left in order to plant with herbs. I always have everything planted out way ahead of time, but anybody that plans anything knows that plans change, right? Especially when our work in the garden is our language, our love language to deity, right? This space right here is growing a lot of ferns. We had a beautiful pink rhodie blooming, but it's gone now, that we have decided to create a meditation space out of, but we just haven't got there yet. Lots of ferns, lots of beautiful ferns. Now, our rose that we planted is doing pretty good, but the clematis, for whatever reason, and these ferns have so taken over that we can't see a lot of what's in here. But I love ferns so much, it's hard to not let them just do their thing. And this is our potting shed that we installed. Many of you will probably remember a few years ago. We have some video footage of a really cool trailer that was brought in on. There's Mazzacline. Anybody that watches Lucifer will recognize that name. That was her name, I believe, at birth. She's an ornery little stinker, super smart. Our first roses of the season smell amazing. We've planted, I just planted beets a few days ago while the weather was really wet, but we had started a bunch of stuff in the greenhouse. So we've got beets and carrots, daikon, rapini, a lot of onions. So something keeps eating the tops of our beets, which is quite annoying. And of course peas, lots of peas. We love pea shoots and pea greens. We have a bunch of strawberries I thought were all pulled out, and they all came back in force. Cover our little cabbages here. We have to cover our cabbages to protect them from slugs, which are, tons of those in our lovely state. And here we don't have a whole lot going on in a greenhouse, a lot of transplants. And